The total revolving debt, that's credit card debt use of Americans in 2015 was nearly, oh my goodness, $938 billion. So do you know your credit score? Are you using your plastic too much or maybe not enough? With us this morning to talk about your credit and how to keep it strong, vibrant, and working for you is Bethy Hardiman, Chief Consumer Advocate for Credit Karma. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so when it comes to consumers, we're still hearing, charge it. Good or bad?
Bad if you don't know how to manage your credit well. 68% of Americans, when they're in their 20s, make a big credit mistake, and sometimes that can be maxing out credit cards, and they don't recover from it for years, and it really has a big impact on their life long term.
So let's talk about some myths, some do's and don'ts that could actually hurt your credit.
Absolutely, but first, let me just demonstrate one of them for you.
Oh, I remember my mom did this to me once. Yep, that was a long time ago.
There we go. So some people think that's a great idea. Closing an old credit card account, you don't use it anymore, close it. But that's actually not a good idea. If that card is in good standing and you're not paying some annual fee,
okay,
keep it open, keep a charge on it, maybe something monthly, pay it off every month. That history is really good for you, and also it helps with your credit utilization rate, which is how much of your available limits you're using.
Another myth?
Another one is that you only have one credit score. A lot of people think that I have my FICO score, that's it. If I know it, I'm good. You have dozens of FICO scores and then dozens of other credit scores, and it's really going to depend on what someone needs to look at to evaluate your credit worthiness at that time.
So how big of a role does credit play in our lives, professionally and personally?
It's really huge. We all know that it comes into play when you're applying for a credit card or a loan. It can also come into play when you're renting an apartment or opening a new cable line or even switching internet providers, for instance.
Now, you mentioned scores. I know my score. Now you're saying we can have multiple scores. And can they be different?
They can be different. They should be similar if you're checking at a similar time.
Okay.
But it can look different depending on what different agencies have on you as far as your data, what you're applying for. So if you apply for a mortgage versus a credit card, they're going to want to look at very different things.
So the key here is to monitor your credit. So what are some ways we can do that to become better consumers?
Absolutely. So you want to monitor for changes over time and things changing in your actual credit report. So you can go somewhere like Credit Karma. You can monitor 2 of your credit scores from TransUnion and Equifax, as well as your credit reports. And we'll also monitor for changes in your credit reports for you. So what you can see is not only is your credit score changing, but what happened to make it change, up or down. And another thing is we also provide an app. So let me show you. We have an app for both Android and iOS, and you can sign up directly in the app or on the website.
And that helps me also monitor.
Absolutely. So this is a great way to monitor your credit on the go. So if you're out and about, say someone opens a credit account in your name, we'll alert you and tell you so you can go ahead and take care of that and reduce any damage long term.
What about someone that really doesn't have a credit history? I mean, a small one.
That doesn't matter. You can always start somewhere. So maybe you want to start with taking out a credit card and using it very responsibly. I've built my credit with just credit cards, and now I have excellent credit, and you can do that too.
And if you don't have excellent credit, you got bad credit, how long does it take to rectify that?
It's really going to depend on your situation. So it's going to look different from someone who is just starting out, maybe made a small mistake, versus somebody who had a bankruptcy or a foreclosure that takes 7 to 10 years to clear from your credit report. But stick with it, and you can make that progress.
So the best advice for someone out there who thinks, I cannot get my credit fixed, what would you say? Because I think that's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, and it feels very daunting, right? So my best advice is just start somewhere. Go to creditkarma.com, get your credit scores. I know it can seem intimidating and maybe it won't look so pretty, but just start somewhere, maybe dispute an error, which you can also do through Credit Karma, and you'll be able to make that progress.
And be responsible and monitor it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you so much. For our viewers out there who'd like more information, where can they go?
They can go to creditkarma.com. We'll give them their scores, their credit reports, and also a lot of education and context around what they can do.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Again, you heard it right here. It is creditkarma.com. You can also check out our website, and that's thebalancing act.com.